how is Wi-Fi Tribe not just paid friends for first world citizens?
So we had this great question pop up online. And I love these questions because honestly, they're giving us so many opportunities to talk about the funniest stuff. So somebody asks, how is Wi-Fi Tribe not just paid friends for first world citizens? Great question. Wi-Fi Tribe is a paid community, yes, but making friends, unfortunately, that's still entirely on you. It's so much easier to do it in Wi-Fi Tribe. It's so much easier to connect with people because we have our admissions process in place. We bring together people who are values aligned. We literally filter in for that. We have these moments on chapters that just connect people super easily, but you still have to show up. You still have to be an awesome person all around, and you still have to make friends. So no, you don't just get to pay and have friends. That last little bit is on you. And how is it not just for first world citizens? This is a great question too. And as much as I'm smiling at it, there's a bit of truth to it that I'm constantly working against, that I'm constantly kind of fighting against to keep fixing. Because the reality is that there are a group of people who have the wealth and money to be able to access Wi-Fi Tribe much more easily. There are even people who, for them, joining at one of our trips, one of our chapters for a month is just as expensive or even cheaper than living, say, for example, in San Francisco or New York for a month, right? So it's literally just an alternative. Might as well do this than being at home, right? And then for other people, it's literally an investment where you have to think, what am I going to get out of this? Am I going to maybe meet people that I can network with? Is there going to be some business benefit, or how am I going to grow as an individual? Am I really going to find friends that I can then keep traveling the world with, right? So I get that. And I think that's really, really important, because the worst thing that could happen is that Wi-Fi Tribe ends up being literally just people from the US and Canada and maybe a few people from Australia, and that's it, right? That would be such a dull, such a bland version of it, because we would only be representing 3 countries of the world. And what we would really want is to literally one day be able to represent every single country of the world in our community. And so what we're now doing actively is trying to send ads, for example, or put our marketing efforts into reaching people in lots of other countries to try to increase that international diversity that we have within the community. And over time, I want to find new ways that we can maybe support members from other countries to come in and to be a part of the community, to maybe make it more accessible as well. So this is a constant ongoing effort. As of right now, Wi-Fi Tribe is already better than the average spread of digital nomads, which is at about 50% North Americans and then 50% the rest of the world, obviously then leaning more heavily towards Europe before sort of South America and Asia and Africa. So we're already doing a little bit better than the average, but we want to do a lot better than the average and find ways to make this community way more diverse in every way, but certainly also from an international perspective. To me, the most beautiful moments and places, settings on earth are when you are surrounded by people from as many different cultures and nationalities and viewpoints as you possibly can. It's how I grew up. I was always in these different international schools, moving from country to country. And I ultimately realized that where I personally feel really comfortable and at home is in a place where there are people from many different countries, so that there is no one dominating culture that I have to adapt to, but rather that everybody is trying their best to speak this international language, to have international sense of humor. We're not all just trying to jam on the TV shows that are coming out of the States, for example. That to me is the ideal environment, and I always strive to get Wi-Fi Tribe to be as close to the United Nations as we possibly can.